Hello, I'm Richard Vobes, the Bald Explorer. I'm on a walk, a very small walk for a cogitation today. It's a bit windy. I do have the microphone protected under my jumper, but we've had a bit of warmish air and today suddenly gone cold again. I wasn't quite ready for that. At least it's not snow that everyone's been promising me. Anyway, I'm on a stretch of road between Worthing and Sompting in West Sussex, and I've just come off onto the South Downs here, to blow some cobwebs out of my head this morning, and also to record this, a cogitation. You may have noticed, if you've been watching recently, that I posted a couple of videos from some scammers that were ringing me. One was saying that I had internet problems and that they wanted to fix it on my computer for me, and the other was saying that I had ordered an iPhone 7 and from Amazon, and if that wasn't the case then they could refund me. Both of which are scams, both of which I knew, and I recorded them and posted them, and of course got quite a bit of response, and it started to make me think about other sort of scams and larger manipulations that we've been having for the last, well, certainly for the last 50 odd years, if not longer. And I suppose we need to go back to about the 50s and 60s. And I remember growing up being told that there was this ice age coming, that they believed that there was this thing as global cooling, that we were all going to have a big freeze, that London was going to be covered in snow and there would be ice packs everywhere, that it was all down to man-made pollution, particulates were in the air, and the sun couldn't get in, and as a result we were all going to freeze. That's sort of how I remember of it. And then later on, there were other weird, not necessarily scams. I'm not saying these aren't true fears, but manipulations of the public, I would say. We had, you may remember the millennium bug. We were told that aeroplanes are going to fall out of the sky, that all the computer systems are not going to work, traffic lights and any traffic and communication systems were no longer going to work, because whoever it was that had designed the chips had not really taken in account that we would be going past the millennium, which seemed very strange. But of course, well, I had a computer, nothing untoward or strange or bad happened on the day. I didn't have any specialist software. It seemed to be a bit of a scam designed for people to make a lot of money, or so it seemed to me. In more recent times, of course, we've got this whole business of global warming. That's something that's going to affect us all if we don't do something. The reverse of the global cooling. Instead of a big ice age coming, the water is going to rise. It's all down to human activity, that it's the pollutants that we shove in, and we're all doomed. And what was the other one? There was a hole in the ozone layer. Do you remember that? There was a hole in the ozone layer, all down to us using fridges and keeping our milk cold. And as a result of the gases that we used in there, CFC gases. Again, I'm not saying that these things weren't genuine worries, but we all seem to be manipulated and frightened by the authorities. And then, of course, we now have pandemics. This pandemic, the global warming, the pandemic of COVID-19, in which right at the very beginning, we were told, well, it's only going to affect older, vulnerable people who are near to the end of their life in a certain age bracket, who have underlying health conditions. And then we later found out that, yes, younger people might have it also if they have health conditions, perhaps they're overweight and various things. But generally, most people will be okay. But the amount of terror and frightening and the response to all of this, the lockdown and all of these things, whether you agree with it or not, has been overwhelming. And I can't help feeling that the authorities have continually made us frightened, anxious, worried, that everything is geared to keeping us under some strange control. Now, I'm not saying that this is a deliberate thing, although I believe that there was a politician, and I forget who it was, who made a very profound statement that if you want to keep the population under control and stop uprising and problems, keep them frightened. If they're frightened, they'll do whatever you want them to do. They'll give away all their liberty in order to have a little bit of security. And I think that's very true. I think that's what's been happening in this nation and now across the world for decades. It's probably always happened. It's probably a way of keeping people under control. But it's bloody irritating, if you ask me. And I've had enough of it. I'm just thinking, here we are, about to come out of this about to come out of this crisis with the pandemic. And that was just a misspoke when I said scam. I'm not saying I don't believe in the pandemic. I'm not saying that. Of course, it is happening to some people, but not everybody. I just think we have overreacted a little bit, locking good people down. But aside of what I think, I just now wonder what's going to be the next thing. Oh yes, of course, we already know it's on the horizon, don't we? Yes, it's the big reset, whatever that means. And so we're all now going to be told that this is coming, that there's a new way of life, we're going to live very differently and things are happening. I'm just getting to that point now where I've had enough and I don't believe any of it. I think it's all rubbish. The planes didn't drop out of the sky. These huge predictions of hundreds of thousands of people dying from the pandemic never happened. The millennium bug didn't really go. The ice age never came. And I don't believe that there is going to be this global warming. And now the Great Reset, I just think it's all a load of rubbish. We're being manipulated and I've had enough of it, really. I'd be interested to read your comments on that sort of thing and what you think. Maybe there is something in all these things, and maybe we've just been incredibly clever and somehow mitigated them by being very sophisticated. I don't know. I'm not really convinced, but I'd be interested to hear your views. However, I shall continue to try and make videos that have nothing to do with that. I know this one has addressed it in its own strange way, but as we get out of lockdown, my plan is to travel around, try and avoid all this manipulation, bring a little bit more of the country world to you, to the lovely viewer, and try and get back to that connection with nature. Because it seems to me, all the time that we have all these weird technical things, that nature seems to be the best health resource we have. Slowing down, spending more time in the landscape, treasuring what we have, and of course celebrating all things English. That's my remit. But anyway, This has been a very short, simple walk. Not really brought you my usual standard of footage and stuff, but it's just been plaguing on my mind, all this manipulation that we've been having. And I'd be interested to know what you think. Anyway, there we go. I will catch up with you soon. Take care, have a good rest of the day, whatever you're up to, and thank you so much for watching. Till next time, bye bye.